Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine de Michel. I am Michel. It has been a little while since we did a video. We're actually going to be posting one that we did a little while ago first, but we had a busy summer. We're back though, and hopefully we'll be posting more frequently now. Tonight's recipe is going to be a dinner recipe. We're going to be making Paccheri pasta with a porcini sausage sauce. And this recipe is found on cookingwithnana.com. I've made this recipe a couple of times. It is absolutely wonderful. I highly recommend it. It's super easy. The ingredients might be a little tricky to find depending on where you live, but you could make some substitutions or, order it online. You never know. But I've already done some prep steps in advance. The first prep step is to put some water in a bowl. I don't do a lot. I'll show you how much I put in this bowl. Maybe there's a 3/4 cup or a cup of water in here. It doesn't really matter as long as you don't do too much. And you soak a 1/2 ounce of dried porcini mushrooms in here for at least 20 minutes. The water has to be warm. I usually microwave it for a couple of minutes. The water, before you put the porcini in, of course. So that's already done, and I've already separated off my porcini mushrooms. So those are ready to go. Here, I've also cooked up the the Paccheri pasta. The Paccheri pasta is right here behind me. This is a 1/2 pound. Now this recipe, I make this for 2 of us. It's usually a little bit more than we need, so it's maybe like 2.5 servings, depending on how hungry you are, I suppose. Anyway, so those steps have already been done. I want to recommend that if you're going to get the Paccheri pasta, that you get something, it recommends to get something imported, and that is absolutely what I do. This is available at Caputo's near me. This is Paccheri, and you can see it says made in Italy. I'm not being sponsored by them, I'm just recommending. This is a very good one. If you can find this or something similar, is definitely the way to go. Anyway, so those things have been done in advance. Now we're getting ready to do some more of the cooking steps here. So I have put 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil in here, extra virgin olive oil. We're going to be heating this on medium. We're going to heat this on medium, and then we are going to be adding in, I've already sliced this up. It says 1.5 cloves of garlic. I just basically had a very, very large clove of garlic that I used. It's really up to you on how much you like, but you slice it really thin. And then we're going to be putting that in here as soon as this heats up. We're going to be sauteing that garlic for about a minute until it starts to get a little bit golden. And then we're going to be adding in some sausage here. This is the brand that I use. It's over at the Aldi that's near me. This is Buono Hot. You can also use mild if you don't prefer, but I think it does give it a nice kick into the sauce if you use the hot. Anyway, let's see how we're doing here. We're getting a little bit warm. It'll be warm in just a moment. We'll be ready for that. Go ahead and get this all broken up right here. Get it ready to saute in the oil. All right, separate. Come on, be nice. Okay, so now it's starting to get a little brown. If you can kind of see that, it's probably difficult to see. So now we're going to add in 8 ounces worth of the sausage to go with it. You're going to be removing the casings if you buy it in lengths. And then you can either break it up with a wooden spoon, or you can use one of these little handy gadgets like this. We're going to be cooking this for about 5 to 7 minutes until it starts to basically be cooked through and get all combined. Okay, as you can see, we've got the sausage is looking well cooked now. We're going to be adding to the pan 1/4 cup of red wine, dry red wine. This is Côte du Rhône. You could use Merlot, you could use any other, like you could use Cabernet Sauvignon, but sticking to the drier side would be best. And then after you've added it, you're going to cook for a couple minutes just until the alcohol starts to evaporate off. After your alcohol from the wine has evaporated a bit, then you will want to add in your porcini, which you have hopefully by now already strained out from the liquid. Give those a stir to get them kind of in there. But also along with that, do not throw out your straining liquid because you're going to want to use 2 tablespoons of this. Use a little more, it's not a big deal. So now we're going to get that in there, cooking really well. Give it a stir just to combine it. While that cooks for a minute, I'm going to show you our next ingredient. This is called passata. So it is a tomato puree, but this is a special type of tomato puree. If you cannot find passata in your area, then you can use just tomato puree that you find like in the cans or something, but passata is definitely the recommended product here, made from Italian tomatoes. This is DeVella brand. This is what I usually get. It works very, very, very well. So you're actually going to be putting in, if you get this size, this is 24 ounces, you're actually supposed to put 12 ounces, so I usually just kind of guesstimate here. Kind of go about halfway on my jar. Looks pretty good. Just a tiny bit more. It's not like it has to be perfect, but yeah. Something close. And then normally you should be filling, like if you were making the like a full version of this recipe, you would fill this jar halfway with water again to kind of rinse out some of the passata and add it in there. Since I do not have that, what I usually do is save some of my liquid from cooking the pasta, and I just add a bit of that in here. Usually about 1/3 of a cup or so. So we're going to stir all that together. And to this, we also want to add 1/4 teaspoon of just regular table salt. So we're going to get that all together right there. And then we're going to let this come to a simmer. Once it comes to a simmer, we want to lower the heat to keep it right at a simmer, and we're going to simmer it for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so you can kind of tell that the sauce has thickened up a bit since I did go about 15 minutes. And then we're going to add the cooked Paccheri into here. I got a little messy since I got the little stuff, so I had to kind of separate it. So my pasta doesn't look quite as pretty as usual, but that's okay. So you're going to stir in the Paccheri like this, so they can kind of get heated back up. if you didn't cook them more recently. Like, you could cook the Paccheri while you were, you know, cooking the pasta part, the sauce. Smells fantastic as usual. So the last ingredient that we're going to be adding in is going to be this 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan-Reggiano. So you want to turn off and remove from the heat before doing this. Sprinkle it atop. And then give it a good stir in. After you've gotten it stirred in, you want to have a little bit more on hand to fit on top, because we all like a little bit more Parmesan on top with our pasta, right? Wish you could smell this. You gotta try it, guys. It is amazing. And there we are. So I'm going to plate this and we'll go for our final product shot. And here we are, final plated product. You can see it looks absolutely scrumptious. So make sure you try this really soon. And also thank you for joining me for another episode of Cuisine Michelle. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're up to 26 as of today. So I'm really super happy about that and hoping we can maybe break up to 30 already. I'd love to get that higher, even higher. Tell your friends, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.